Hello and welcome to episode 11 of the HamCorp training manual. Before this episode, we updated the world to version 2.6.0. Our parent company HamCorp is on the loading screen. Anyway, in this episode, we will establish the HamCorp Metro to transport logs from the farm to the power generation building. So I have updated the mod pack to version 2.6.0, and I quickly want to talk about a few different things that I did before continuing on. So first up, I bound this key for open backpack, and this basically allows me to put a backpack on my back. I bound it to one of my mouse buttons. That's why it was next, which is a weird key. So in this backpack, I have my hammer, but you can see that it's now silky. That's because I put a silky jewel on it. I got this from a quest, this one. And this is how I got all of the stone for all my building blocks. I also made this thing, the steam oven. It's basically a furnace, cooks 9 things at once, uses steam. The charcoal jar, I have put some storage upgrades to increase the capacity, and I also put in a void upgrade, so this destroys excess items that are piped into this. The reason I did that is because the coke ovens sometimes would get full of charcoal, and the charcoal would have nowhere to go because this jar used to be full. We would stop producing creosote and stop producing charcoal, and it would just stay clogged. So now, all the excess charcoal just gets destroyed, and the coke ovens will continue to work. I'm going to have a similar issue with creosote once this fills up, because once this fills up, and then once the internal buffers fill up, then these are also going to stall again. So I'm going to have to probably figure out a way to avoid any excess creosote, but that's a problem for later. I also got a comment asking about how I make my bookmarks so organized. So let me just teach you a couple things about the bookmarks. I probably should have done this in one of the earlier episodes, but it is what it is. So let's take the minecart, for example. So let's say I want to do this recipe. So you can see now that right now in the recipe, it's cycling between the different valid items in each of these slots. If you hold shift, it stops cycling. And if you scroll, it scrolls through the different types of items that work. So I want the GregTech iron plates and the wrench and the hammer. I mean, these don't really matter, but whatever. So now, if I hover over the minecart, I'm still holding shift by the way, but if I hover over the minecart, hold shift and control, and then press A, this favorites everything from the recipe. I guess normally it would favorite it like this. And then let's say I want to favorite something else, like, let's say we're favoriting the electric blast furnace. But let's say you don't want just a list of items horizontally like this, you want it vertically like I have. All you have to do is click this, toggle bookmark view mode. And now it changes it so that the outputs are on the left, the first item on the left, and then everything else in the row are the inputs for that item. Suppose you want to make 10 minecarts. You could do the mental math to scale these things up, or you can hold Control and Shift, hover over any of the items from this recipe, and then scroll up or down. And then what I do after that is I just go through each of the items, and then I favorite those, I scale them up to the appropriate amount, and then I remove it from the previous step. And then I just work from the bottom to the top, and then I get my minecarts. You can also reorder these. Oh wait, what is this? I think this is new. I didn't know you could link this. Yeah, I don't know what that does. I'll have to play with that. But you can reorder these if you hold shift and then drag these things around. And speaking of minecarts, I would like to have a train, just for fun. This is definitely not like needed. This is totally optional, and it's probably even a bad idea because the minecarts are a little buggy and vulnerable to lightning. But I just want to do it for fun. I want to move my oak bonsai farm across the river so that it's with the other farm things. And I want to have a train that transports the logs from there across the river to the power generation building. And to do that, I need to progress through these this little minecart questline, I guess, and get to the steam locomotive, and also make some tracks, some buffer stops, and yeah, a lot of this assorted stuff. Also the fluid loader and unloader, as well as I think item loaders and unloaders are also a thing. So I need to make a bunch of different things. But yeah, it's time to go full industrial revolution in HamCorp. time has finally come to move the farm to the farm. So I dug out this little area that's been snowed on. I'm just gonna quickly make like a little greenhouse building for the crop manager. This water keeps freezing, so I'm gonna put a piece of glowstone on top of it. I think that stops it, but I'm not totally sure. So here's the setup. We just need to move the oak bonsai over. We are in luck because this spot right here is 80% humidity, and we do need a water source. And the reason we need the water is, one, to hydrate the fields, because you can supply water to the crop manager. And second is to... Ooh, this is already heating up. Good catch by HamCorp safety team. But basically, it's also to power the high-pressure solar boiler that I made. This way I don't need to pipe steam all the way over just to power this one machine, which barely uses any power. I have just discovered that the solar boiler doesn't output on the bottom face. That's annoying. Actually, it looks like this one water tank isn't able to keep up with both the boiler and hydration, so I'm just going to turn off hydration for now. I think that's fine. Alright, so this has been set up. The pipes have been laid. Everything's hidden except for this one pipe. The water comes out of the air, I guess. Powers the boiler. Boiler powers the farm. Farm makes wood. Wood gets sent to these drawers. There hasn't been any wood yet. That's why there's nothing in the drawers. But the pipes are laid underneath. And then from these drawers, we're going to extract, put them in a minecart, and then send them to the power building. Well, that's the plan anyway. So I've built a little train depot here. This is where the train is going to come, load up with wood, and then set off on the way back. And this is where the train tracks are going to go. I'm going to have it go that way and then turn right. And then I'll clean it up and make it look a little nicer when when I'm waiting for stuff to process or something. I will see you when I have this path laid out and I have all of the train stuff ready. Also, I'm going to build a second depot connected to the power building somewhere. I'll figure it out. Here's a quick little building tip. If you want to have a sense of speed when you're running through a tunnel, look at the difference between this, which has nothing on the ceiling, and this, which has a block every sixth block that looks different. It's the same speed, but when you run on the clear side, it feels like a little fast, but when you run on the other side, it feels much faster. Because you see these blocks moving past you, and they're closer to you than the rest of the movement that you see, so the apparent motion is faster, so it feels like you're going faster than you actually are. Okay, I put together the path, and I gave it a roof and some walls, a little bit of decoration. I think it looks pretty good. It's totally dark in here. There's no lights at all, so at night this is going to be pretty dark. That's fine, and I don't really know what I want to do at this part. I think I might just leave it for now and figure it out later. This is just like the one weak spot of this whole setup. It's where the minecarts can get struck by lightning or something. But I think that's fine. Actually, it is a problem that it's dark, so I'm just gonna run through here, put down some torches, just so no mobs spawn here. It's basically the only reason. Here is the little depot add-on I made for the power building. It's a little shit. It's just kind of a box, but I think that's fine for now. So I've laid down the track in the tunnel, and what I'm gonna do at either end is I'm going to have a little loop. I need my crowbar. This did not place the way I wanted it to. Okay, so I got the switch track, and I was really struggling to place this in the correct orientation, but if you put down 3 tracks first and then the switch track, it places it correctly. This is not exactly right. You want it like that. And we want it to go in a loop. So now what happens is No, I didn't bring a regular minecart. But the train comes in. This part of the track isn't locked, so it goes forwards. Then it turns over here. I guess it stops, picks up stuff. I haven't implemented that yet, but I will. And then it continues on. And then here, it actually pushes the track into place, and then it keeps going. I think that's how it works. So here we are only getting items. So we need an advanced item loader. And this is facing down. And so this tells the items that they are only allowed to go into the cargo carts. So it won't try to put it into anything else. And I didn't bring any pipes, but in theory, we would have pipes leading from the oak wood. Ah! Oh, I made some maintenance tunnels, by the way. I'll show you that in a bit. But anyway, the pipes come in from there. They enter the advanced item loader, filtered to only put in oak wood. So oak wood goes in. You know what? Let's actually test this out with the actual the thing. I just realized actually the steam locomotive needs to pick up water. I guess I can do that here. So the water will come in as well in a different pipe. And it will hit this fluid loader. Water goes in here. The fluid loader, oh, I need to pick this up. The fluid loader is only going to fill the steam locomotive and the tank cart. We need the tank cart because the steam locomotive internal buffer is... I'm not totally sure it's actually large enough to make the whole trip. I remember that being a problem in HamCorp. But we'll see. Oh my god, these guys need to shut up, dude. Okay, so all three of these are linked. So what's going to happen is the steam locomotive gets filled with water. It moves forward a bit. And then the cargo cart gets filled with wood, which I need to specify here. And the tank cart will also fill with water. Also, we want this mode to be on immediate. The redstone part doesn't really matter, but this basically stops it from sitting here and waiting until it's full. Which is not something we want. Yeah, this is already on immediate. So now let's test this thing out. I'm a fool, I didn't bring any charcoal. So right now I am manually fueling the train with charcoal, but the charcoal will be picked up at the power building. So I'm gonna have a second, I have the second depot building, and I'm gonna do a similar setup there, and it's gonna pick up charcoal. And that's how we're gonna keep this thing running. Right? So the steam locomotive is up, it's heating up. We don't want this to move too fast actually, because it can be pretty buggy in keeping these carts connected. So I'm just gonna have it go probably at 2 speed. But yeah, we'll see. Yeah, there needs to be, I think it needs to fill at least half the steam before it starts going. It was supposed to stop. So also the switch track works. That's good. But yes, of course, the locking track. That's what I need. Oh, I only have 2. I'm gonna need more. Alright, surely these tracks work. I haven't configured them. I don't remember exactly how to do that. Ah, okay, perfect. So this stops the cart. This should fill up with water now. Perfect. So actually the redstone signal that comes out of this is maybe a bit useful, because what's happened here is the locking track has stopped the steam locomotive, but the steam locomotive is not going to accept anything from this item loader. So it's just going to sit there forever. However, the mode that the item loader is in is that it will emit redstone if no items are moved. So I need to have a redstone signal that goes from here to the steam locomotive. I made the advanced item loaders for this exact reason and forgot. But basically you can place these underneath. and then they're in direct contact with the locking track. Now when something isn't transferred, it just sends the redstone signal directly to the track, so there's no issue. So here we have the advanced item loader. This is going to put charcoal into the engine, and then this one is the unloader, and this is going to take wood out of the cargo. Okay, so the steam locomotive is the one that is getting loaded with only charcoal. And this unloader is going to be only the cargo cart. I think that, oh my god, stop. I think that the tank cart only counts as a water source if it's directly adjacent to the locomotive. So we'll see. So let's put that on this side. Everything's connected. This thing is facing the wrong way. Now it's facing the right way. Yeah, so this has been filled with water. I didn't put this water in, it just came from the tank, so that's nice. Okay, I think this is fully set up. Just need this thing to heat up again, and then we can see if it loads and unloads correctly. Alright, moment of truth. This should fill up with charcoal. Perfect. Okay, and then this should stop. Perfect. And unload its oak wood. Yep. Where's it going though? Ah, okay, so this is actually auto outputting into this buffer. We don't want that. So I'm going to move this locking track over here, and that should solve this. But I'm just gonna let this finish for now. Okay, so good to know that these unloaders auto output to the adjacent blocks. Alright, this should work. This pipe, I need to make another frame drawer. I like to set them into the ground. This one's not set into the ground, but I'm gonna fix that. I'm gonna move this forward one and then just close off the wall. Anyway, that I will do at some point when I can be bothered. And in the meantime, we need to move all these coke ovens into this building. So here's a pro tip. Lay down the pipe before you put down your coke ovens. Because once you have the coke ovens, it's really hard to navigate around here. So plan your pipes, place your hoppers and stuff. Do all of that before actually placing the coke ovens. I didn't bring enough pipe, but this is mostly just to show you how I have this set up. There's going to be 4 coke ovens in an arrangement like this. So these are going to go out, like these are the 3 axes of the cube. And then there's going to be 4 of them. We have a seared faucet, redstone clock, wooden pipe setup, as well as hoppers and small tin item pipes below. And then on top, this is where we're gonna have the inputs. So this is where the logs go in. So inputs at the top, output at the bottom, byproduct in the middle. So let me get done putting all of these together. I'll also make a drawer and probably move the creosote tank over. Oh, but it's like full of creosote. I don't know, we'll see. I'll figure something out. But yeah, I will see you when this is set up again. So here we have a setup where the logs are being pulled into the small tin item pipes, and they're going to be distributed to all 24 coke ovens. I guess one at a time. But it will happen eventually. These will all fill up. There we go. Second one has activated. These will start making creosote and charcoal. The charcoal is all going to be combined into this one pipe, which I don't have enough. Oh, I had exactly enough of. That's crazy. Actually, I don't have enough. I still need to connect it to this frame drawer. I also made the drawer key, by the way, so now I can lock this to oak wood, and I can do that at the farm as well. And here's what I was talking about with the bugginess of the steam locomotive, because now it's at the back and it's pushing. I don't know how that happened, but it seems to still be functioning. So these coke ovens actually take up quite a bit of space, and there's not really enough space for the railcraft boilers. I guess I could put them up here. Maybe that's not such a bad idea. Yeah, I might do that actually. So I don't want to move the setup until I'm absolutely certain I can just hook it back in and run my machines. And to do that, I have to decide between piping the steam back from the power building or having steam turbines there and then having cables coming back. But I think at this stage in the game, it would be more expensive, but I think better to actually pipe things back. Just pipe back the steam and then use it here. Because a way to get around, because of the loss in the cables, right? But the way to get around the loss in the cables is to either use lossless cables, which is very expensive for me at the moment, or I can transform up to a higher voltage and then the loss is reduced, essentially. I'll explain that once I actually do that. That's not really important right now. Like, yeah, it saves a bit, but like I only have copper cables right now, and they're still pretty lossy. So I think I am just going to use probably like, oh my god, huge potent pipes and just have a giant pipe just sending back steam. So yes, I'm going to make a big stack of potent pipes. And then I will actually move the boilers. Yeah. Thank you for watching this episode of the HamCorp Training Manual. In the next episode, we will finish setting up the final build of the steam system and start the push into MV with the long-term goal of setting up a logistics pipes network. HamCorp takes no responsibility for the delays caused by the construction of the metro. HamCorp refuses any liability for creatures that get fucking steamrolled by the train by walking in front of it. See you next time.